Okay, so if you're interested in becoming a project manager, watch this video. I became a project manager in 2022. And since then, I have grown my income significantly. Now, I know a lot of people don't talk about salary, but I do think it's really important to be transparent about your salary, especially as a Black woman working in America, because we're trying to do better. We're trying to elevate, and not enough of us are able to open the doors, right? And so it's important to do that. So when I got my first project management job, my salary was $110,000. The next year it was $140,000, and the following year it was $165,000. That was at a government contracting agency, so it was not with any additional bonuses. It's not with, a signing bonus, etc. Especially nowadays with the federal government, I haven't heard too much of the 8A government contracting companies hiring people with bonuses. It is something more common with private industry companies or companies like Lockheed Martin or Northrop Grumman or Booz Allen Hamilton, for example, or Booz Allen. Those are companies that essentially do public and private sector contracts. But if you're looking to get into government contract funding agencies, then it's very unlikely for you to get a signing bonus. Now, hey, I've only been a project manager, a PMP certified project manager for the last 3 years. But if that's something that you're wanting to ask for because you're transitioning from private to public sector, then it is something to consider. And so when I was preparing for the PMP, my previous company afforded us the opportunity to have a training. So I took advantage of that training and I studied for the PMP. By studied, I mean crammed, because I was not diligent with practicing for the PMP as much as I should, right? And so a few tips about practicing for the PMP. Number one, they say you should enroll in a course. So my course was plus or minus 6 weeks, and I recall us meeting twice a week. And it was a pretty good course. It was helpful, and it walked us through the book, which is the PMBOK study guide. However, I don't feel like it fully prepared me for the types of questions that were on the test. Now, mind you, I took the PMP in summer 22. So now that it is summer 25, a lot has changed. And so my suggestion number one is do take the course, but take it with a grain of salt that you're going to have to really practice, especially practicing for the test. So the second thing I did was I downloaded all of the practice tests that the course gave us. I studied the answer to the practice tests, and then I would retake them. The practice tests are usually models of what you can expect to be on the actual test. And so you want to make sure that you're able to fully digest the information as it is received. And so I would, review the book, review the study guide, and then I would take the test, fail the test, and then I would review the answers and why I got those answers wrong. And sometimes I would even write out the actual answers. And then the last thing that I did was watch YouTube videos. So I'll tag the gentleman's videos that I watched. He coined this term called PMP-isms, and it was really helpful for me. I am a visual and audio learner. So if I can't see it and I can't hear it, it's very difficult for me to retain it. And to be honest, I think a lot of us are that way because with the amount of social media and content we consume on a daily basis, is very typical for us to just have too much information, right? And so I was watching the YouTube videos, and I own multiple businesses. I'm in real estate, and I have a full-time job at this point. So I didn't have a lot of time. And so I would listen to YouTube videos whenever I drove anywhere, on my way to church, to the gym, going for my walk, on my cardio. I was listening to the YouTube videos, and it was really helpful. And so currently my salary is $165,000, and I get an annual bonus based on performance. And then obviously I have other investments, etc. I work from home 100% of the time, and based on my work-life balance and what I desire for myself as a single woman living in Washington, D.C., I am so happy about this. Now, a lot of people in the industry will say, oh, well, you could be making a lot more, or you could be doing this. Absolutely. However, based on my current scenario, I think it's pretty good. And I know there are a lot of people from communities that couldn't believe that a 34-year-old woman can make that amount of money. So I just wanted to share my perspective. I'll make another video to talk about how I'm able to boost that revenue or boost my annual income to over $200,000. But for the scope of this video, we're talking about how to get a PMP. And so for the course, once you complete the course, you've studied your study guide, you study your book, you've practiced by taking the test, failing the test, and retaking the test again, then it's time to enroll in the actual test. And so I recommend going into the actual test center. I don't like that virtual stuff when it comes to that. Like, you got to get in the zone, and you got to like put your mind and your body in the space, right? And for some reason, like, that really helped me. Take a sweatshirt or a jacket because you're going to need it. It's going to be really chilly. And when you go, you're just going to say a prayer and then do your best. I actually failed my first test, and I wasn't really that discouraged because I didn't practice enough before I went. Like, I crammed the week before, and I was like, fine, I'm gonna just do it, right? And I failed. I recall it gave me some feedback about how close I was to actually like doing my, like, getting a passing score. And so once I got that, I was like, okay, I know what to do next time. And it also gives you the focus areas where you should improve on. So can't recall those right now, but I think it kind of tells you like what sorts of questions you didn't do too great on. And so if you take the test, yes, it's expensive. Luckily, my former company did cover it, so I was super happy about that. But if you have to retake the test, don't be discouraged because it's totally normal. And if you're doing it on your own dime and you don't want to retake the test, set a reminder in your phone and on your calendar every single day and remind yourself to spend at least 30 minutes reviewing questions. That is the number one way for you to build your vocabulary and your understanding of how to be a PM. That's essentially like how I became a certified project manager. I really like working as a project manager. I think managing teams is a really cool sweet spot that a lot of people aren't really good at, but thanks to me being the oldest daughter, it's just like a game changer for me, being able to be rewarded in a field that I feel so comfortable in. And I think that anybody could do it. You just need to apply some simple steps to deciding what you want and then executing it by putting one foot in front of the other. So let me know in the comments if you have any questions. I'll see you on the next video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Bye.